Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roberta. Welcome to today's English class. In today's class, we're going to talk about an American holiday called Halloween, which I'm sure a lot of you have some idea about. You might have seen something about this holiday, maybe in TV and movies. Anyway, it's a really popular holiday in the US, and for a number of reasons. People can get free candy, people get to give out candy, people get to dress up in costumes. So it's supposed to be a pretty fun holiday all around. Usually some fun parties that people can attend or have. So Halloween is one of the many popular holidays celebrated here in America. Some people might see this and some other American holidays as a little bit strange. In America, we love our holidays. We go all out for a lot of holidays. We spend a lot of money, we spend a lot of time, we decorate a lot for different holidays, and Halloween is no exception. So here we have Victor joining us. Hi, Victor, welcome.
Hi, Roberta, thank you. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going where you are?
It's going okay.
That's good.
Today we have kind of celebration.
Oh, really?
Not such a Halloween, but Unity Day.
Oh, that's right. I've heard about that holiday. Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you like have the day off and get to relax on this
Yeah,
day?
yeah, it's day off. It's only day off.
Good, good. Sounds fun. It's always nice to have a day off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're talking about Halloween. Um, is Halloween sort of an interesting holiday for you, Victor?
It's interesting. Yeah, I read about it
Yeah, it's
a few
definitely,
times. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely sort of, it can be considered sort of strange or weird. Definitely in America, we put a lot of time into a lot of holidays. For Christmas, everything will be Christmas themed for, months leading up to Christmas. For Halloween, it's not months in advance, but in America, there will be Halloween decorations everywhere. If you go to the grocery store, if you go to the bank, if you go anywhere, if you go out to a restaurant, a lot of things are Halloween themed, which seems kind of weird, but we put a lot of time into Halloween in America. So it can be a little bit weird for some people. Mauricio, welcome to class.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, good. Well, welcome to class. We're doing talking about Halloween today.
Okay.
We have Andre. Is it Andre or Andre?
You can say Andrew.
Andre. Okay. Your mic is just a little bit low. It's a little bit hard for me to hear you, Andre.
Are you implying that uh, it would be better if I would say loudly?
No, I think it's your mic. I think it's your microphone. It's just a little bit low. It sounds like your voice is okay, but the volume on the microphone is just a little bit low. I can hear you okay if you speak loudly, but I don't want you to have to scream every time you have to speak.
Okay.
Okay, so I can hear you okay. If you can't fix it, that's okay. We have Anatoly.
Hello, Roberta. Hello, everyone.
Hi. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Uh, I'm fine, thank you. I'm from Russia. I live in Moscow.
Okay, is there a holiday today?
Yes,
Yeah?
Unity Day.
Unity Day.
We had 4 days off.
4 days. So you have a sort of like a long weekend today or this weekend?
Yes, today is the last day.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I've talked to a couple of people who are celebrating Unity Day today. So happy Unity Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So again, today we're going to be talking about Halloween. It can be an interesting holiday because it's sort of different, right? At least in America, we dress up in costumes, we eat a lot of candy. We do something called trick-or-treating, which I'll talk a little bit about. And just like I was saying, in America, a lot of holidays get this kind of attention. Um, Definitely, if you can watch TV and everything is Halloween themed. A lot of times on the radio, if you turn the radio on, there will be lots of Halloween songs that are playing. So we put a lot of time, a lot of effort into celebrating our holidays, and especially with Halloween in this country. You can also go to something called a haunted house or a haunted amusement park. So we have amusement parks here with like roller coasters and things, and they might dress up the entire amusement park to look like really scary, and they'll have people coming out and jumping out at you and trying to scare you. Basically we'll be talking a little bit about things like that in this class. The class will be in 3 main parts. The first will be vocabulary associated with Halloween. We'll talk a little bit about the history of Halloween, and then some current traditions that we do, and that will be in the form of a reading. Some common phrases that might be used around Halloween, and we'll finish with some discussion questions. I've shared the reading as an attachment in this class, so you should be able to view it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have a problem opening it, you can send me a private verbling message and I can resend it to you if you have trouble opening it or viewing it. So before we get started, I have a few general questions for you guys about Halloween. So I guess the first question is, what do you already know about Halloween? So I put that into the chat log if you want to reread the question. If you're sometimes it helps to read the question if you don't understand it. So what do you already know about Halloween? I'll ask you, Victor.
I know that the symbol of Halloween is a jack-o'-lantern
Good.
made of pumpkin.
Yes, it's a pumpkin. Good. I'm glad you said that. That's actually one of our vocabulary words that we're going to be looking at today. So a jack-o'-lantern is a common symbol for Halloween. Good. Anything else?
I know you are wearing costumes during this celebration.
Yeah, exactly. We wear costumes, and not just dressing up in like nice clothes. We wear crazy costumes. Like if you want to dress up like,
Ghost,
a ghost. Sometimes very popular one is a pirate.
skeletons,
What was that?
skeletons, right?
Skeletons, yeah, definitely. We decorate a lot with skeletons. We also, maybe you might dress up like a
I
pirate
think,
or a
yeah,
zombie.
in general, things connected to death.
Yeah, sometimes it's connected to like scary or we would say like, yeah, you could say death, things that are dead. And we'll talk a little bit about why that is.
Okay.
I see that we're joined by Adrian. Adrian, where are you from?
Hello, Roberta. Hi. I'm from Uruguay.
From Uruguay. Okay, well,
Yeah.
welcome. Welcome to class. What do you know about Halloween already?
Um, yeah, I know a little bit things now about Halloween. In my country, since maybe five years ago, um it's a commercial day. The children go out. Uh, in
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Kids go out, and we'll talk a little bit about what that's called when they go out and ask for candy. It's called trick-or-treating.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. You already know a little bit about that. We are joined by Andre. Andre, where are you calling from?
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Andre. Where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
From Russia. Okay, well, happy Unity Day.
Oh, thank you.
So we're talking about Halloween today. I'm just trying to see what you guys might already know about Halloween. The next question And I'm also posting it here in the chat log. Do you celebrate Halloween in your country, and what do you do? I'm going to ask Mauricio.
Well, I'm from Argentina, and we do not celebrate Halloween here,
Okay.
and we do anything.
Okay, yeah, so you
It's
don't do anything.
just a normal day here.
Yeah. I think for a lot of other countries, it's just a normal day. But in America, it's something we do a lot of crazy stuff on that day. So yeah, in Argentina, most people don't celebrate Halloween, it sounds like. Okay. The next question I have is, I'm going to post it in the chat log. Is Halloween a very strange or different holiday for anyone here? So for any of you that have heard what I've said so far about Halloween, do you think it sounds very strange or different from any holidays that you have experience with? So I'm going to ask Andri.
It's for Ukraine, for my country, it's pretty unusual
Okay. Why do you think
celebration
it's
holiday.
why do you think it's unusual?
Since it isn't traditional holiday, and mm, it's pretty weird for my country to do that silly and crazy celebration, and decorate our houses in that way.
Yeah. So it might seem
Uh,
sort of, it makes sense, right? Even for me, some days for Halloween, I'm like, I can't believe people are doing this to their houses and going door to door. It seems like a very
but
strange practice, right? So
it's
I agree.
sorry, it's tend to be more and more popular in and in some offices. We have office parties.
Okay, so in Ukraine, they do have like Halloween office parties.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah, it sounds fun. We have a lot of office parties too here in the United States that are Halloween themed. So it's starting to spread a little bit, it sounds like.
Uh, yes.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. The next question, have any of you ever dressed up for Halloween? So I'm going to ask people if no one volunteers. I will ask, let's see, Andre.
No, I didn't have a chance to dress up for Halloween, unfortunately, but I seen some of my colleagues was having fun with dressing like like death. I'm not sure. It's like in what is the movie? Um,
I think I know what you mean, like very
it's
scary,
like
like with a hood, sort of.
yeah, and with a white mask, It's like I forgot how do you call it?
Is it from the movie Scream?
Yeah, Scream. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, with the white face and the like long,
Hmm.
like lower mouth part. Yeah, I know what you mean. So that's a very popular Halloween costume
Yeah.
even today.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've never dressed up, but you've seen other people dress up.
Hmm. Yeah.
Good. Has anyone else ever dressed up for Halloween? Is
I,
that,
I,
yeah,
I
Victor?
dressed up for one of lesson here on Verbing.
Really? You got to
Yeah.
dress up for Halloween?
I was wearing the mask.
Cool. That's
I
really
can I
cool.
can show you.
Yeah, definitely. If you have it very close, that would be great.
It's my
Oh,
daughter.
there you are. Yeah. So is it like that? That's the Scream mask. Very
She said
cool,
hello.
Victor. Good. Very good. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Very scary. Yeah, that's really cool. That's a typical good Halloween mask for sure. Very cool. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So I guess yeah, Andre's laughing. It's very funny. I like it. A lot of the even the scary masks, sometimes whenever you see them out, they can be scary, but sometimes most of the time it's supposed to be just a fun holiday, and I think you did a good job of that there, Victor. So the next thing we're going to look at, if you guys don't have any other questions or comments, I'm going to pull up the reading that I also shared with everyone as an attachment for the class. So again, you should be able to look at your own version, but I'm going to screen share it as well. So it's would be under Halloween Reading Verbling is the name of it. So I'm going to pull that up and share it with you all.
Все, пока.
Hello? Is that Andrew? Okay, I thought someone had a question. Okay, so I'm going to make this bigger. I know it's very, very small. So is that too big or too small? This is
It's okay. It's okay, I guess.
Is this a little bit better? I know sometimes it is really small. It looks big on my screen, but it might look small on yours.
It's okay.
Okay. So we'll start with the vocabulary for Halloween. And some of these might be new for you. Some of these you might already understand. Before we get to the reading, we're going to look at some important vocabulary. So I'm going to ask Victor if you can please read the first two.
Okay. Harvest is the process of gathering mature crops from the fields. Take stock, to log or see document how much you have of something.
Okay, so to log or to document how much that you have of something. And harvest is the process of gathering mature crops from the fields. And we'll see what that means and why we're talking about harvest in a little bit. The next two, I want to hear from Mauricio. Can you read the next two, please? Mauricio, can you hear me? Okay, it looks like we're having some trouble. Andre, can you read the next two in blue?
Yeah, sure. Paranormal. It's something that is impossible to explain scientifically, usually used to describe ghostly happenings. And boundaries, a border or a limit.
Okay, good. So you might have heard something like we have a lot of shows, paranormal or movies. Paranormal Activity is a really famous scary movie. So that might have been where you might have heard paranormal, the word paranormal. And then we have boundaries, which are a border or a limit between something. The next two, Mauricio, can you hear me yet? Okay. Let's hear from Anatoly.
Deceased, another word for dead or perished. Trick or treating, a Halloween tradition where children go door to door while dressed in costume to ask for candy while saying the words trick or treat.
Okay, so the first one you've probably heard. It's a pretty common word. Deceased is another word for dead or perished. And then trick-or-treating is that tradition that we've been talking about, where children go door to door while dressed in a costume. They ask for candy while saying the words trick or treat, and we'll look at why people say trick or treat in a little bit during the reading. The next two, let's hear from Adrian.
Yes. Bonfire. A fire with outside the people to gather around during a Halloween party. A bonfire can be used for various other social reasons. Uh, Haunted. An object, person, or home that is said to be uninhabited, no, I don't know.
Inhabited.
Inhabited by ghosts or other paranormal things.
Good. So the first one is bonfire. You've probably seen a bonfire, possibly gone to a bonfire. It's just another word for like a social fire that people build outside and then gather around. And then haunted is an object, person, or home that is said to be inhabited by ghosts or paranormal things. So inhabited just means that there are ghosts and things living in that place. Okay. And then the last one, jack-o'-lanterns are carved pumpkins with a lit candle inside designed to give a ghostly light. So this is a really popular Halloween tradition. A lot of people do this. I did one of these this year. I don't have a picture of it, otherwise I would show it to you guys. But a jack-o'-lantern is just a carved pumpkin, and you can see the holes where someone carved the pumpkin and then put a candle inside. And then people will put these on their porch to celebrate Halloween. One thing that sometimes happens are like teenagers usually, or people that live in the neighborhood sometimes will go around and pick these up and smash them as part of like tricking or as part of like pranks. So it's something that can sometimes happen. Any questions about these before we move on to the next thing? Okay. So these are some different words for fear that you might see in the reading and also in the next part of class. Terrified, frightened, scared, afraid, nervous, anxious, or uneasy. So these are all different words for fear, and these are all different adjectives, and they all mean like afraid or something like that. Okay. And then we have different words for scary. If you're trying to say something is scary, you can say that it is spooky, horrifying, eerie, chilling, creepy, or ghostly. So these are some different words that you might hear when talking about Halloween and talking about the different phrases that we're going to talk about. So let's get to our different Halloween reading, talking about the history of Halloween. So this first paragraph, let's hear from Adrian.
Halloween was first celebrated by an ancient group of people known as the Celts. They used it to celebrate the harvest season with a festival called Samhain, pronounced Samhain.
Good, good.
Okay.
So they used to celebrate the harvest season, where they would go and look at or take away or like cut down all of the mature fruit or vegetables or something like that. And this festival was called Samhain. Okay, so that's where it comes from. The Festival of Samhain is a celebration of the end of the harvest season in Gaelic culture. And this is from like a group in Ireland, is basically where Ireland and Scotland are where this tradition came from. Samhain was a time used by this ancient culture to take stock of supplies and prepare for winter. They believed that on October 31st, the boundaries between the worlds of the living and the dead overlapped, and the deceased would come back to life and cause havoc, such as sickness or damaged crops. So havoc is craziness or chaos, such as sickness or damaged crops. So they were afraid that on this day, the dead could come back, basically, and cause trouble. The festival would involve bonfires, which is what we talked about. It's believed that the fires attracted insects to the area. Insects are bugs, which attracted bats, and fire and bats are still common symbols of Halloween. So you might have seen one part of different Halloween decorations that you might see a lot of. If you would come to the United States for Halloween, you would see lots of plastic bats around, lots of spiders and creepy things. So there are a lot of bugs and bats as part of the decorations, okay? And then let's look at today. So let's look at what people celebrate today for Halloween. Victor, can you read this first paragraph?
Today, Halloween is a holiday celebrated on the night of October 31st. The word Halloween is shortening of All Hallows Evening, also known as Halloween or All Hallows Eve.
Okay, so Halloween is just a shortened word for All Hallows Evening. The next one, we have some traditional activities, including trick-or-treating, bonfires, costume parties, visiting haunted houses, and carving jack-o'-lanterns. So these are some popular activities that people do. Irish and Scottish immigrants carried versions of the tradition to North America in the 19th century. Other Western countries embraced the holiday in the late 20th century, including Ireland, the United States, Canada, Puerto Rico, and the UK, as well as Australia and New Zealand. So a lot of countries celebrate some form of Halloween, but some also don't. Okay, so it's definitely depends on the country. Masks and costumes were worn in an attempt to mimic evil spirits or appease them. So Victor showed us the creepy mask, right? A long time ago, people would wear these masks to mimic or to be like the evil spirits or to appease them, to be like, oh, we're like you. So it's kind of interesting piece of history. Trick-or-treating is an activity for children on or around Halloween where they proceed from house to house in costumes asking for treats or candy, and they ask the question, trick or treat. The trick part of trick or treat is a threat to play a trick on the homeowner or his property if no treat is given. So trick or treating is one of the main traditions of Halloween. So, like I said before, when I was talking about the jack-o'-lanterns, whenever people, if you say trick or treat and the person does not give any candy, then the person that is asking for candy might take the jack-o'-lantern later whenever the person is not looking and smash it, which is considered very, very mean, and they would get into trouble if they would do that. But that's part of the trick in trick-or-treating. Any questions or comments about that? It's sort of a crazy holiday.
Did you trick someone?
This year, no. I don't usually go trick-or-treating. I'm too old.
No, I mean when you kid.
Oh, when I was a kid? Let me think. I don't think I ever did the trick, but in some places actually, children have to tell a joke, and that's part of their trick. They have to tell a joke to the homeowner. And some places people do. They might, take a lawn decoration or something that you have, or they might. We do something called toilet papering the house, and that's one thing that they do a lot. They'll take toilet paper and they'll throw it into the trees and make it so it's very, very hard for the homeowner to get the things out of their yard. So that's something, it seems very crazy, but it's actually something that people do as part of Halloween in this country. It's the trick part. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Have you ever heard of anything like that, Andre?
Yeah, I've heard it. And as I understand, you have to buy many candies in order to avoid these trickings.
Yeah. We actually have, if you don't want any children to come to your house, you can turn your porch light off. So if you have a light in front of your house, you can turn it off, and hopefully the people won't come to your house and ask for candy. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes people will come to your house, and if you don't answer, they'll get angry, and they might do something to your house. In some places, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, Halloween's a pretty weird time of year.
Oh, sorry. Can you give money instead of candies?
If you give money, you'll be very, very popular. You won't have any tricks at your house if you give money. Some people will give like big candy treats. Like normally you just give a very, very small candy. We call them fun size candies. But some people will give like a big, like a full size bar of candy or something like that. And if you do that, then you're considered very, very popular. Everyone will come to your house for Halloween. But you have to
Do,
have enough for everyone or you'll get in trouble.
do you have a special kind of candies or it's usual candies?
I would say it's pretty usual candy. You can just go and like if you would go to a store, they'll have a lot of bags of Halloween candy. And it's the same candy, it's just smaller and like individually wrapped. So if you could go and get like a big box of candy that's like wrapped, and then you could just give everyone a very small piece, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then the next part is sort of like what you were saying, Andre. It's become socially accepted or expected that if you live in a neighborhood with children, you should purchase treats in preparation for trick-or-treaters. So if you don't buy treats, you might get in trouble. So if you have lots of children that live around you, you definitely are supposed to give a lot of treats away. In Ohio, Iowa, Massachusetts, the night designated for trick-or-treating is often referred to as beggar's night. So a beggar is someone who like maybe asks for money or something like that. So in some states, it's also called beggar's night because because you go to different houses and you ask for things. Okay. Part of the history of Halloween is Halloween costumes. The practice of dressing up in costumes and begging door to door for treats on holidays goes back many, many years. It goes back to like the Middle Ages. Today, both adults and children dress up in costumes on Halloween. Halloween has become a holiday where adults might put a lot of work into a weird or funny costume. So every year, I'm amazed because I look on the internet and people post pictures of their Halloween costume, and some of them have a lot of work put into them. Some of them might have, taken a lot of time to make. Some of them are very creative. Some of them are just really funny. Some of them are very unexpected. So if you would even do, a quick Google search of American Halloween costumes or something like that, I'm sure it would come up with a lot of different Halloween costumes that people have come up with. And some of them are very, very creative and interesting. So again, this is one of those holidays where people put a lot of work into different things, and especially their costume. Have any of you seen any costumes this year, maybe on the internet? And Natalie, have you seen anything?
Hmm. Nothing special. We mentioned it like Mask of Death or
Mm.
or something other scary. It could be Freddy Krueger, for example.
Yeah, Freddy
I saw
Krueger's
people. Yes, I saw people who worn that clothes
Mm-hmm.
and that day.
Yeah, the Freddy Krueger mask is a very popular one that's been around for a while. People still, I saw someone wearing a Freddy Krueger in America this year, so that must be a very popular one worldwide. Good. So I'm going to stop screen sharing that. Does anyone have any questions before we look at some different phrasal verbs that have something to do with I'm getting some pop-ups here. Some different, or about Halloween related phrasal verbs.
I have a question. As I understand, today the mask or costume shouldn't be like a scary one. I saw people dressing like old people. Like I'm not sure because I saw somewhere that they put up some gray hairs on them and kind of. Do you know what I'm talking about?
So like someone dressed up and put like gray hairs on themselves and made
Yeah.
themselves.
They look like old people. I'm not sure because I've seen some costumes not so scary, just regular ones.
Yeah. You definitely for Halloween, at least in the U.S., you don't have to dress up. I'm sorry, my mouth or my throat's really dry. The air is dry here. It's getting cold. So yeah, definitely in the US, you don't have to dress up scarily. You can dress up in pretty much anything you want. If there's a TV show that you like, if you guys know about, have you ever heard of Breaking Bad? The show Breaking Bad, Andre?
Something familiar, but I'm not sure. Maybe.
Okay. Even just a famous, a lot of people dressed up like the characters from Breaking Bad, that TV show, and they're not very scary. You could dress up like pretty much anything you like. You can dress up like your favorite cartoon character. You could dress up like almost anything. That's why it's very, very interesting every year when I look on the internet and see what people came up with to dress like for Halloween, because they can be very, very crazy. I've seen Freddy Krueger in a dress before. They might make it, something very creative. So yeah, you don't always have to dress up like something scary. Does that answer your question, Andre?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, good. Any other questions or comments about Halloween so far? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to pull up.
I have a question, sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Is Halloween a day off in America?
No, we don't get a day off for Halloween.
Why?
A lot of people would love to have that day off. But yeah, I guess we don't really have any days off usually for Halloween. This year it was on, what was that?
Such a popular celebration and not day off.
Yeah, I know. It is very popular. I'm surprised that we don't have any days off. But a lot of workplaces, you'll get to dress up when you go to work that day if you do have work, which is kind of funny because people will go to work and they'll be dressed in a full costume. But yeah, it is very popular, so I'm not really sure why we don't have the day off. Good. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so I'm going to pull up the other reading that I attached to this class about different phrasal verbs that you might hear when talking about Halloween. So I'm going to screen share that with you guys. And let me make this bigger. Hopefully I'll be able to look at your own copy if you have any questions later, want to revisit this. The first one you might hear a lot of is dress up. Let's hear from Anatoly. Can you read this first one?
Dress up. To dress up is to put on costumes or clothes to make yourself look like someone or something else. Examples. The children dressed up in their Halloween costumes. I dressed up with a witch, some for the Halloween party.
Okay, so a witch is like a scary, like,
Woman.
yeah, it's usually a scary woman. We would say it comes from like a long time ago, like pagans or Wiccan, like things like that. So yeah, a witch is normally for Halloween, people would say a witch is like a scary female, scary woman. They usually wear like a pointy hat, maybe dress in all black. So you can dress up for a lot of different, or dress up as a lot of different things for Halloween. Good. The next one, believe in. I'm going to ask Victor, can you please read this one?
Believe in. When you believe in something or somebody, you are sure that something or somebody exists. Examples. Do you believe in ghosts? My children still believe in witches and fairies.
Okay, so believe in something. I could ask you, do you believe in ghosts? Or do you believe in the paranormal? Which is a question that we'll be talking about at the end of class. My children still believe in witches and fairies. Here in the United States, we have something called the tooth fairy. If a child loses a tooth, they can put the tooth under their pillow, and the next day they might wake up and there's money under the pillow. And we say that the tooth fairy came to visit the child. And some children believe in the tooth fairy, but normally after a certain age they don't believe in the tooth fairy anymore. So yeah, that's believe in. That's a common phrasal verb. The next one is a very common one, and you might hear this, I'll hear a lot of these actually, not just around Halloween, but Halloween is whenever you hear them a lot. Andre, can you read this next one?
Freak out. To freak out is to experience strong emotions and become excited or disturbed, or very angry or very upset. Examples. He freaked out when he saw the scary Halloween costume. They freaked out when we leapt out wearing witch masks and screaming loudly.
Okay, so yeah, you can stop there. Freaking out. So freak out is to experience strong emotions, and you can freak out about a lot of things. You can also say that something freaked you out. Like if someone is wearing a really creepy costume, you can say, oh my gosh, that is really freaking me out. You can also say, like sometimes if you watch a scary movie, you can say, that movie really freaked me out, or this movie is freaking me out. Okay, so you can use it for a lot of different situations. Any questions about that one? Okay, and then the next, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Is it similar to shocked, freaked out?
It's very similar to shocked, yeah. It's very similar to, like, if you want to say that something shocked you. This is sort of, I guess, more of an informal way of saying it. You can say it freaked me out. Does that make sense, Victor?
Yeah. Thank you, clear.
Sure. The next one is very similar, weird out. Adrian, can you read this next one?
Weird out. To weird someone out is to make them feel very uncomfortable and uneasy.
Good. And then can you read number 1 and 2?
Yes. Take that mask off. It's really weirding me out. I don't like Halloween. The costumes and decoration wear me out.
Good. So weirding out is less strong than freak out. So if something weirds you out, you probably won't. Your emotions aren't as strong as when someone would freak you out, if that makes sense. Okay. Weirding out, you can just say is definitely not the same as like being shocked. Okay. The next one we have hand out, and this is what we use when we talk about trick-or-treating. Can I hear from Anatoly? This one in blue?
Yes, hand out. To hand out something or hand something out is to give something to cash to each person in a group of people. Example, on Halloween, people hand out sweets to children who knock on their doors.
Okay, so to hand something out is just to give something to people or a person in a group of people. So if you say, we can say that on Halloween people hand out sweets. If your teacher in a class might hand something out to you, they might hand you different things like they might hand you like a paper or something that you need to fill out. So you can hand out a lot of different things, okay? And the next one, huddle up. Let's hear from Andre. Can you read huddle up?
Yeah, sure. Huddle up is to move closer to other people or to keep your arms and legs very close to your body, usually because you are cold or frightened. Example, we were terrified in the haunted house, so we held hands and huddled up together.
Okay, so huddled up is whenever you like stand with a bunch of other people very, very closely because you don't want to like be separated or be by yourself. Um, and definitely if people are going through a haunted house, you would want to try and huddle up with other people. And a haunted house is one of those things where people will decorate a house and have people hiding out in different corners and things like that, and they'll pop out and try to scare you. So it's good to huddle up with other people if you are going through something like that. Also, whenever it's cold and there are lots of people outside, you might want to do something like that. Okay, any questions about that one? The next one, Victor, can you read look out?
Look out. Look out is an exclamation you shout out to warn someone about potential danger. Example, look out, there is a ghost behind you.
Okay, so look out. Look out's an exclamation to warn someone about something. So you might have heard that. It's definitely used a lot in movies and things like that, to look out for something. The next one, turn into. Let's hear from Andre. Andre, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, turn into. When something turns into something else, it becomes that thing. Example, she drank the magic potion?
Potion.
Potion and turned into a black cat.
Okay. So a potion is like you would say in a magical world, a potion is something that like a wizard might make to turn you into something or to make something happen in your life. It's not real. It's usually in like a story. So to turn into something is when you become something. So the example in this is like a Halloween theme. She drank the magic potion and turned into a black cat. Okay, so the next one is wind up. To wind somebody or something up is to tell something that isn't true in order to make a joke. And the example here is, we wound up his younger brother by telling him that ghosts and witches are real. So if you want to scare somebody, it's sort of like another way of talking about scaring someone, winding somebody up. Okay, it's sort of a weird one, but you can say we wound up his younger brother by telling him that ghosts and witches are real. So we can assume that in this example, the younger brother probably got really scared. Okay, and that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to wind him up. Any questions about this one?
Is it written the same way as I know that wind up is end up.
So are you asking if it's similar to end up?
I know that wind up is the same as end up, but wind up is written like that, like.
Yeah. You can say the same thing like ending up, and it's spelled the same way.
Okay.
Good. And then we have a couple more. We have the next one. And can I hear from Anatoly for this next section?
Scare away of. To scare away somebody or something is to make a person or animal to scared that they go away.
Okay, good. To scare someone away. Yeah, go ahead.
Example, we scared the neighbor's children away but dressing up as skeletons and shouting loudly.
Okay, so you can say, we scared the neighbor's children away by dressing up as skeletons. So if someone comes onto your porch and tries to trash or destroy your jack-o'-lantern that you worked very hard on, you can jump out of your house dressed up as a skeleton and try to scare them away. One thing that people do in the United States is sometimes people will dress up in a really scary costume and sit on their porch and wait for children to come up onto their porch and take candy. And as soon as the children are on the porch, they'll jump up and scare them away. And sometimes the children can get really, really scared. Sometimes adults actually can get really, really scared. So it's another fun trick that people play on Halloween. Any questions or comments about that one? Okay. And then the last one, ward off. If you ward off something unpleasant, you stop it from harming you or coming near you. So for example, I don't know how many of you might know this about vampires, but it's said that a lot of times vampires are allergic to or can't be around crosses or garlic. It's sort of just like I'm not really sure where it comes from or why people say that, but it's something people say a lot about trying to ward off vampires. You might have to use garlic or crosses. Some people might say silver will ward off werewolves or other different types of monsters. So it's sort of a weird thing to think about, but we would say that warding something off is to keep it from harming you or coming near you. Any questions about this last one or any of the ones that we just talked about? Okay, so for the last thing that I have to do today, I have a couple of questions that sort of might ask you or get you thinking about those phrasal verbs that we just talked about. I already asked you who here has dressed up for a Halloween or for a costume party. So the first question I have, it might not be for Halloween, it might be just for fun. We would call it a costume party. So who here has dressed up for either Halloween or a costume party? Nobody.
Children. The
Yeah,
children.
yeah. Can you say more?
The children could dress up.
Okay, so children might dress up, and you've seen that for a costume party. Have you ever dressed up when you were a child for a costume party?
I think yes, but not for Halloween. It was different game because Halloween only last time spread in my country, in Russia,
Right,
and
right.
not for every people, mostly for young generation.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, and that's why I said even just for a costume party. So it doesn't have to be for Halloween. In America, we also have just regular parties where you have to come up with a weird costume. So it's not just related to Halloween. Has anyone else ever dressed up for something not related to Halloween, but something interesting like that?
When I was a child in school, my parents dressed me up in some weird costume. I guess it was from some cartoon, I guess popular cartoon, and it was so funny and intimidating for me. So I remember till this day.
Yeah. Some children do not like dressing up at all, and here in the U.S. there are plenty of videos of kids in a costume, and they might look at themselves in the mirror and start crying because they scare themselves.
I guess it was on New Year, right, Andre?
I guess yes. I don't remember exactly what time of the year. But
It was for New Year?
yeah, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, some people might dress up for in costume for the New Year's Eve here. Am I thinking a different holiday? It might be different in Russia. I'm not sure. The next question I have, I'm going to put it into the chat log. Do you believe in ghosts? I'm going to ask Let's see, Adrian, do you believe in ghosts?
Now, when I was a children,
Mm-hmm.
yes, of course, yes. But now I think I don't believe in ghosts. I I've never seen something like that. Um, then I don't believe.
Yeah, so you had a good answer for that. So when you were a child, I think a lot of children believe in some kind of ghost or something scary, and then as we get older, it's they don't scare us as much, right? But some people still believe in ghosts. Does anyone here believe in ghosts? No one's going to admit to it. I bet someone might believe in ghosts, right? I don't think it's a weird question, right? And sometimes whenever you're by yourself and after you watch a
How
scary
about you,
movie,
Roberta?
well,
How
that's
about
yeah, that's a good question. I don't believe in ghosts usually, but I'll admit that after I watch a scary movie and if I'm by myself and if it's really dark, I might say, I am a little bit afraid. I wonder why I'm afraid. If I'm not afraid or if I don't believe in ghosts, I shouldn't be afraid right now. But sometimes I do get afraid after watching a scary movie. And I agree, Victor, if you don't believe in them, they won't believe in you. So yeah, maybe that's the trick. You can't believe in them and you won't see anything. Good thing to think about. And Victor says you do believe. Okay. So yeah, sometimes you might believe in ghosts. Sometimes you it's
by the way, it's another Victor in the chat.
Oh, really? There's two
Yeah.
Victors. Okay, I thought that was you, Victor.
No, it's not me.
Because you say the same. Okay, yeah, it's spelled differently. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that you clarified that because I wasn't sure who that was. Okay. So the next question: what is something that freaks you out or makes you scared? So we said, I'll start. One thing that freaks me out are bugs. I don't like bugs or insects. So that's something that freaks me out. Victor, is there something that freaks you out or makes you scared?
I have experience. I read a book that was that it books gave me my sister. He's a doctor, and the books it's about surgery, kind of
Oh.
in military time.
Oh, yeah, like a long time
I
ago?
Yeah, a couple years ago, and before that I thought I don't believe in ghosts and I don't scare anything. But when I was reading these books, it was very terrified.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen different doctors' books. Even if you go to the doctor's office, they might have pictures of like the inside of an eye
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah, pictures and examples of surgeries.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
Um,
scary.
yeah, that freaks me out too, for sure. Definitely, that's something that can be that might freak you out. And Natalie, is there something what freaks you out?
Maybe a snake.
Oh, okay.
I could imagine in a scary dream how
Mm,
a snake is moving in my flat. It's freaked
ooh.
me out.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good example of something that might freak you out. A lot of people get freaked out by snakes. Good. Anyone else? We've like one more minute. Does anyone else want to share something that freaks them out?
Maybe some insect that can bite and do something.
Yeah, that's what scares me. That's what freaks me out, Andre, are scary little like bugs that bite. I really don't like those things. So they freak you out too?
Yeah, sometimes, I'm not sure what is the name of it. For example, if you go to a forest and it can sit on your head and go through your skin. It's kind of, I'm not sure what is the name in English.
Ooh.
I'll try to find the name of this insect.
Ooh. whatever it is, I don't like it. It goes into your skin. Ugh, that really freaks me
It's
out.
a tick. It's a tick or mite.
Oh, a tick. Yeah, yeah. We have those in the United States in where I live, and they really freak me out. Yeah, yeah. For sure. It's definitely one of those things that can freak you out, different bugs and things like that. Good example, Andre. Okay, guys, so we're out of time. Let me know if you have any problems viewing the attachments that I made to this class. And I hope you learned a couple of different things about, or ways to talk about at least, Halloween. Okay? Any questions before we end for the day? Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Marta.
All
Thank you
right.
very much, teacher. Goodbye. See
Yeah,
you later.
thank you. Bye,
Bye.
bye. See
See
you
you.
later.
Bye.
Bye.